So it's been announced by the government that we're going to cease using all Russian oil and gas by the end of the year, after years of it being supplied by them, whilst openly talking about how much we don't trust them. Despite them being able to turn the taps off to much of Europe at any given time, the point must also be raised as to why we haven't done more to get away from relying on Russia and relying on fossil fuels. We've known for years they're no good and damage the environment, harming our planet. So first off, what of the shortfall? We're already seeing gas and fuel prices on the rise. Perhaps there's enough greasy product on Keir Starmer's head to fill a couple of chip vans, and Bozo is certainly full of enough hot air to heat much of London through next winter. If only lies were energy, Johnson would be hotter than the sun. The fact is, Putin is able to wage his war because it's being funded by the likes of us buying his oil and gas. Russia makes 700 million a day off the back of it. He could turn the taps off, but it'd hurt him as much as they might freeze us. Russia is the third biggest oil producer. The US is the largest, followed by Saudi Arabia, who aren't much good either. Oil already arrives here from Russia by ship, so it being shipped from somewhere else is certainly possible, though it would require other oil-producing nations to increase production to keep up with demand. Otherwise, prices will continue to soar, as we're already seeing at the petrol pump. You need to give a shout out to the Liverpool dockers who refused to unload a shipment of Russian oil the other day in solidarity with Ukraine. Well played, the pool, ahead of our government at any rate. The gas is a bigger problem since it gets piped into Europe from Russia, though we could move to shipments of LPG, liquid petroleum gas, from producers, again like the US, but again, we're already seeing price rises and they'll keep going up. Johnson wants to increase North Sea oil and gas productions, but that won't happen overnight either, and we need a proper green energy plan for the future to get away from fossil fuels. But we need politicians without vested interest in that industry to get there. Part of the problem price-wise is the privatization of our energy infrastructure, which is pushing prices up. Oil and gas production costs haven't risen. At the moment, we're seeing these companies cash in on a crisis, on a war. But if we do switch off our Russian supply chain, they'll bump the prices up again. Shareholders have got to have their cut, even as people end up choosing not just between heating and eating, but for some, it'll be a choice between starving or freezing to death. Prices are already unaffordable to millions, and we have a government that hasn't had the balls so far to tackle high prices, nor the responsibility to its citizens to ensure we can afford it. Whilst I support cutting off Putin's war funding, I don't have any faith in our politicians to deal with this with our interests at heart.